No, ndewo, and welcome to another day of Nkata Igbo language lessons. Yeah, I'm excited because today we'll finally conclude our lessons on Mmadu, and believe me, we have other exciting topics we'll be learning till the end of the year. So it's going to be a long ride and a fun one too. If you can hear me clearly, please give a reaction, maybe a thumbs up or any other emoji. Let me be certain that I'm clear before we begin. Okay, thank you, Stephanie. Thank you, Chamaka. Okay, thank you. So I'm guessing everyone can hear me clearly. Okay, Kendianyebo. So we'll always remind us of who we are. We are Nkata Igbo Media and Editorials, and we are dedicated to promoting Igbo history, language, and culture through engaging webinars. So every month we have a webinar where we discuss various Igbo language topics relating to Igbo culture, Igbo practices, anything Igbo related monthly. And we'll also be introducing a new interaction, which is a roundtable discussion, which would strictly be, I won't say strictly, but it will majorly be in the Igbo language. So the speakers would majorly be speaking Igbo language. It would also be a good place to test your level of understanding, because they'll mostly use Igbo, but then of course explain some things in English to drive it home. Unlike the other monthly webinars where we discuss majorly in English and a little bit in Igbo. So they're kind of a bit of opposites. Then the lessons on language, which we have weekly, that we're having today. Then we also promote our culture and identity in various ways on our social media pages. And we also have a marketplace, which is in progress to be launched soon. So if you have any things you would want to market to other Igbo people all over the world, then do well to reach out to us. So what are we going to learn today? Mmadu na ezinaulo mbara. So this is like the last class we learned about Mmadu na ezinaulo, and we looked at the nuclear family structure, right? We looked at close relations and the extended family, but limited to like cousins, grandparents, uncles, aunts, nephews, nieces. But then this time we're going to look at the groups, various groups we have outside those other groups that we discussed in the last class. So we'll look at the Omona, the Omoada, Ndiyom, and Ndiwunyedi. So these are some of the groups. Some families do have more groups other than these, okay? There are various names, like various groups. But then these are the ones that we're going to be looking at in today's class with the time that we have. Yeah, this will be exciting. So first off, how you pronounce these words. So this is Omonna, Omonna, okay? Up, down, up, down, high, low, high, low. Omonna, okay? Omo and na. Omonna. And this is Omwada. So the tone kind of changes. So instead of going down, it levels, it goes flat. Omwada. Omwada. Okay, so these are like the two major groups. I'm sure even if you're not Igbo, you'd most likely have heard Omwada at least. If not Omona, you must have heard Omwada, because this is the one that trends the most because of the reputations they have in various Igbo societies. So first, we'll look at Omona. Omona. So Omo means children. If you remember, I believe that should be our second class, or even our first class. We talked about Omo being the plural for children, for child. Child is Umwa, then the plural is Omo, okay? So Omo, Nna. children from the father, okay, or the father's children, basically. Umunna means the father's children, the father's children. So, but then this is should I say patrilineal, as opposed to umunne. You know, when we talk about umunne, we said that umunne are siblings, the mother's children. And then we talked about how people who are born of the same mother are considered siblings rather than of the same father, right? Then umonna are basically it's not just about being born of the same father, but then having the same, like if you trace the fatherhood upwards, there is a common father at some point. Okay, so for some Igbo families, so it's different for different families. So some families, they trace it from their grandfather, some start from their great grandfather, some start from their great great grandfather to trace their umunna relationship. Okay, so but then there has to be a father at the apex of an umunna group whom they recognize as their should I say their origin or their ancestral heritage. Okay, that is the person they believe, even though that person also have their own fathers, right? You know, when you know they had their own umunna that can be traced back, but then to these families, this is the person that they are tracing back theirs to. Okay, and then they form this group under the leadership of that their late great grandfather or great great grandfather. So it's different from different families. Some families they go great 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 grandfather. Okay, so it's different from for various families, but most people it's the great grandfather that they trace it back to form their umunna group. Okay, so but then the fact remains that the umunna is majorly sons. Okay, so you don't trace your umunna from your mother, you only trace it from the father. So members of the umunna group are sons and fathers. Okay, that can be member of the umunna group. Right, so when you hear umunna, don't take it that these are children, these are just siblings that have the same father. No, but it can be cousins, it can be uncles and nephews, but then they all have one grandfather, great grandfather. Okay, they have one great grandfather who unites all of them, and then the head of this umunna group is the first son. Okay, so how that is checked is it could be the first great grandson. Okay, it could be the first great grandson or the first grandson. So when he dies, it goes to the next great grandson. So it's not hereditary. It's not like when the leader of the umunna group dies, the leadership goes to the son, like his own son. No, instead it's moved to the oldest great grandson amongst the umunna group. Okay, that's how it goes round until, so it can still fall in the same family, which could be the brother but not the son. Okay, except maybe there are no other brothers or cousins of that same age. And then the head of the umunna is called the Obala umunna. So now how can we use umunna in a sentence? Remember, if you have any question or any addition or any contribution, do well to put that in the WhatsApp group chat so that I can have access to it. Yeah, since we cannot have access to the chat. Okay, so omumatu, I said it before, omumatu means to give an example. Omumatu, ha abụọ nọ n'otu ụmụnna. Ha abụọ nọ n'otu ụmụnna. Ha abụọ nọ n'otu ụmụnna, which translates to they are both in the same umunna. So umunna can be translated, I would say loosely, as kindred, people of the same kindred, right? So, but we know that in the Igbo culture, it's way deeper than just kindred, right? So ha born or no umunna, they are both in the same umunna. So abo means two. Ha, the plural for they. Abo means two, both. No, to be in or to be at a certain place. No. n'otu, in, one, one ụmụnna. So otu is one, abụọ is two. Okay, they are both in the same ụmụnna. So the second example, ọ banyere n'otu ụmụnna. Ọ banyere n'otu ụmụnna. So this is different from this, which is why I had to add the tonal marks to show the difference. So this is otu, high, low. Otu to mean one, but this is otu to mean group. Ọ banyere n'otu ụmụnna. He joined the ụmụnna group. So because you don't just become a member of the ụmụnna group, so you don't just automatically, even though you are naturally part of them, but you don't just become one of them. Okay, so there's some kind of, I won't call it a registration process, more like an initiation process, but it doesn't necessarily have to be ceremonial. Okay, but then it's significant. You have to be recognized as part of the ụmụnna at a certain age. Okay, at a certain age, because they have their meetings. Some of them have their dues, because it's a group that looks after the family, discusses family issues, discusses family problems to make sure that everyone is progressing. Like in my family, whenever we come back to remember our grandfather, the ụmụnna organizes a meeting for everyone where everyone starts to highlight, okay, my business is not going well. I need, if someone can support my business, invest in my business, or I just finished secondary school, I want to go to university, I need someone to sponsor me, everyone starts to help each other out. So the ones that are doing way better would help out the rest, things like that. So ụmụnna helps to keep peace in the family, discuss issues, there's so many things that they do. So it's not just, you don't just automatically become a member of the ụmụnna. You have to be recognized and your name written down. Okay, in my family we have a book that has been passed down for generations, and that is where they put down the names of those who are part of the ụmụnna. It also helps when it comes to sharing the family land. So in some families, the family land is not just divided; it's owned by the ụmụnna. So as you get of age, you're given your own land from the ụmụnna group, things like that. So just to help keep families in order, basically. So or, like we said in one of the classes, or is a gender neutral pronoun. So, but then we're using he in this case because women are not members of the ụmụnna group. So he joined the ụmụnna group. Banyere. Banye means to enter. Banyere, past tense. Banyere, joined. N'otu, in the group. ụmụnna. Okay, he joined the ụmụnna group. Now the ụmụada, the popular ụmụada, I think the social media has kind of like pushed the ụmụada group further to the limelight. Ụmụada has always been a significant group in every Igbo society. I won't say every single Igbo society, but most Igbo society recognize the ụmụada social group. So, but then unlike the ụmụnna that is restricted to people who are related in a family, probably through their great-grandfather or their grandfather or their great-great-grandfather, the ụmụada is much more open than that. So ụmụada are not really, I won't say, they are not really related by blood, okay, but then they're from the same place. Okay, so in some communities, the ụmụada they have ụmụada group by clans, but some of them it's as a village. This whole village or this whole community, this is their ụmụada group. Okay, they know everyone, they know every daughter born in their place, in their land. Okay, so every daughter is part of that ụmụada. So this is ụmụ, children, ada, daughter. So in this case, ụmụada is not the children of the ada. Instead, it's like children who are the adas. So ada is usually the term for first daughter, okay, in a family. But then ada also extends to daughters, basically. Anyone who is a daughter. Okay, that means every woman. in the community, whether they are mothers, whether they are married, whether they're not married, it doesn't matter. You are an Mmadu, okay? So someone who is a daughter of the land is Mmadu. So they are daughters who share the same natal home. So they are born in the same place. So you are only an Mmadu, or you are only a member of Mmadu in your own father's place. Okay, let's say father's place now. In your own father's place, because we are following the patriarchal system when it comes to relationships in the Igbo society. So it's patrilineal. So in your father's place, okay, you are a member of the Mmadu group in your father's place, right? So all the daughters who are born in that same land through their father are the Mmadu. Okay, so they are part of the Mmadu group, and just like the Mmadu also, there's also registration, paying of dues. They also have their meetings, things like that, and they also contribute to making sure that there's order, looking after other women, and there are some communities that their Mmadu does not tolerate domestic violence. Okay, they don't overlook it. So once you notice that one of them is getting violence in her matrimonial home, they storm there, make sure that there's order, make sure that the man is brought into account. Maybe they take him to the Igwe and to the Eze, and then make sure that peace comes. Okay, some of them are the ones that are in charge of development. I notice that sometimes when I travel to the village, it's usually the woman that makes efforts for development that comes with some structural development, like building churches, fixing roads. You see these women organizing these things, calling for development in the society. Okay, so in our Igbo society, we recognize the power of women, or the strength of women, and also their intelligence too, right? So the Mmadu, even though they're should I say, the way they exercise their rights might be limited, since men are usually decision makers in the Igbo society, but then they are still proactive, they are still recognized, they still make things happen in the Igbo society, and then it differs from village to village. So if you're in your own village, the rights or the effects or the impacts of the Mmadu group might be different from other people's communities. So there's no one way the Mmadu performs their activities, right? So, but then the Mmadu are the ones born in the same land. Okay. Now, an example, we have also no Mmadu. Also no Mmadu. So O is also another pronoun as opposed to all, like we saw here. This is all, which is a pronoun for he or she or even it. Okay, but then O is also another pronoun that works the same way: he, she, or it. So even though there's a difference in the sound, but then there is a rule that guides that, which we could treat later on for you to understand better. But then the basic thing is that we have groups of vowels that functions differently. So this one doesn't have the dot underneath it because of this vowel here, and this one has dots here because of this vowel here. But that will be a lesson on another time, but this concerns majorly in writing. So also no Mmadu, she is one of Mmadu. So iso, when you use the word iso, so means to be a member of. Okay, it means to be a member of, or to be a follower of. That is what so means. So means to follow. It also means to be a member of. Okay. Also, no Mmadu. She is one of Mmadu. Ndị Mmadu chọrọ Amstel malt. So this is the narrative that is very popular when the Mmadu comes to traditional marriages, and they make demands that, oh, we don't want the big malt, we want Amstel malt. That's the brand we want. If you bought the big malt, take it back, go and buy Amstel malt for us. Even though we joke about this and some complain about this, but it's just kind of, to me, I believe it's a way to show, to also serve as a reminder, of their presence and their status in the society, right? It's not common in everywhere. Forget what you see on social media. They don't make random demands like that, right? But then what they often do is that if you're not an active member of Umuada group, okay, they will try to remind you why you should be an active member, because those who are active members tend not to get to their left side. Let me use that word. So yeah, they will always want to remind you that, even though you have not acknowledged us ever since you're a young lady, this is one chance for you to recognize us, because they know that if you get married, you might travel to the city, travel abroad, and then you forget them all over again. So that's like the one chance to remind you of their significance in the society. So when mother make demands, let's not try to feel like they're not the enemies of progress or something. No, it doesn't work like that. So yeah, the Umuada chọrọ amstelmot. The Umuada wants amstelmot. So when we add ndi, this is just a pronoun to recognize them as a group. So when I say ndi Umuada, it just recognize them as a group. The Umuada people or something like that. The Umuada chọrọ. Chọrọ means to want something. Chọrọ, want, amstelmot. So now we have the ndi inyom. So ndi inyom, I would say all inyoms are Umuada. Okay, everyone who is an inyom is also a member of the Umuada group, but not everyone is a member of the Umuada group is an inyom, right? Because ndi inyom are the married wives. Okay, they are the married wives of the land. So if you come to your, if we come to your father's side, all the women that are married are member of ndi inyom. So they are basically wives. They don't necessarily have to be mothers, okay? They don't necessarily have to be mothers, but they are wives. They are married officially, okay? So they are the ones that, so in some communities, not in all communities that they form this group, but most communities they do, okay? Most communities they have the ndi inyom group. It's just nowadays we now have the whole different communities have their own different wives group, and then with the whole August meeting Christian group have overshadowed some people's traditional ndi inyom group. So some of them have now been modernized into like CWO groups in their villages. So it's now seems some kind of like having some kind of duplication if you have a separate ndi inyom group and then have CWO, and stuff like that. But then for some people, they still do it because the whole CWO group are also of different denominations. So the Catholics have their own group and they do their own August meeting different. And then Anglicans, Methodists, have their own differently. So, but then when it comes to ndi inyom, irrespective of your religion, you can be a member of ndi inyom group and still contribute as wives, as married women in the community. Then we now have the ndi nwunye di. Ndi nwunye di. So di is the word for husband. Di is the word for husband. And nwunye is the word for wife. So ndi nwunye di. Nwunye di is like the husband's wife. So when you say nwunye di, you are saying my husband's wife. Okay? But then basically it just means co-wives. My co-wife. Okay? So because in the Igbo society, we believe that if I, as a man, gets married to a woman, the whole family is married to the woman. Not literally, okay? She is our wife, okay? So she is our wife. So even my brothers, even though she is a sister-in-law to my brothers, but then she's still their wife, okay? So, and we know that back in the day, before the penetration or the deep penetration of Christianity, people can take on their late brother's wife, right? So instead of that woman being remaining a widow or getting married to someone outside the family and then leaving the family, since she's already married into the family, the oldest living brother can take her as a wife, even even if he's already married. Okay, so the concept of Unyedi as my husband's wife, the term still remains, even though it might not, it no longer means the same. It now simply means co-wife. Okay, yeah. So Unyedi now is like, if I'm married to a woman, the woman and my brother's wife are co-wives. Okay, they are both co-wives. So they will be calling each other Unyedi. Unyedi. Okay. So they are the co-wives. So co-wives can also have some kind of a smaller union, especially in families where there are so many men, right? Where there are so many sons. Okay. So when they get married and they have their wives can decide to form their own group where they just, it doesn't have to be like an official group, but then they can have meetings, probably whenever there's like a family get together, they can decide to come together, discuss the issues, what's happening. I hope my husband is treating you well, you know, husband being the husband's brother. I don't know if that's making sense. So I hope our husband is treating you well, you know, just trying to find out if everything's going well in the family. Okay, or even if there's a way to support each other, or even to organize the get-together themselves. Okay, co-wives can decide, let's be organizing the get-together ourselves. This is what since we're the ones that are going to cook and do all these things, this is what we're going to do. So Ndewunyedi is also kind of like a group that some families have. Not all families form it as a group, but then they still call each other Unyedi, whether they have the group or not. Okay, so it's not a requirement. Ọmụmaatụ, ndị inyom nwere nzukọ. Ndị inyom nwere nzukọ. So the inyom group are meeting, or they have a meeting. The inyom group have a meeting. Okay, or that they are meeting. Ndị inyom, so the inyom group, the wives, or should I say the married women in the community, have a meeting. Ọ bụ nwunye di m, she is my co-wife. So for those who are married into the Igbo families who are not Igbo, so if you see your brother-in-law's wife, you can call her nwunye di m, my co-wife. Okay, so it doesn't mean that your husband is married to them. So it doesn't necessarily mean my wife's husband, even though that's the literal meaning. But it's just, I would say it's a term for more inclusion. Dalo. So we have come to the end of today's lesson. Okay, so if you have any question, remember you can write that in the WhatsApp chat so that I can answer it. Yeah, thank you. If you're not on the WhatsApp group, do well to scan this code to join our WhatsApp group. To donate to our organization, you can use this, and do well to reach out to us. Remember, if you want intensive classes where you get to learn Igbo grammar and, you know, all of that, you write to us and we get to start taking you on classes. You can also visit our website to see other things that we do. Then we are on all social media channels except Snapchat. We are on all social media channels, so you can always go there to see our content, follow us, and yeah, do well to reach out. Does anyone have any question? I don't know if I'm able to unmute. So you can try raising a hand. Let me see if I'm able to unmute you from my end. Otherwise, you can drop a message in the WhatsApp chat. So yeah, thank you all so much for joining today. Thank you. I really appreciate having you join the lessons. Also know that you can always do your own research. Remember, different Igbo communities have different ways they practice their culture or they name their things. So we try to teach with the standard Igbo which is understood by every Igbo people. But then always remember that different Igbo communities have different ways they say things. So yeah, always do well to ask questions if need be, right? So yeah, thank you all, and I look forward to having you in the next lesson next week Saturday. So next week Saturday we're not going to do Mmadu again. We're going to go into time. Okay, so we'll see different ways time is viewed in the Igbo society. We'll see how we say time locally. We'll also see how we say time in the modern way. The Igbo calendar. You know, there's just a whole lot about the Igbo people and culture that there is to learn. So yeah, do well to come back again Saturday, and invite your friends to also learn. And all our videos get uploaded to the YouTube channel. So yeah, always do well to go there to refresh your memory. So yeah, thank you all so much. We have come to the end. Bye.